What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and I was pretty freaking shocked at what I found out when I was testing Gambit against Human Torch. And I wanted to share all of this with you guys because this really did blow me away. Gambit is one of those characters that I feel is really one of the better characters in the game, especially against Knull, even Mephisto. He just really shines. He puts out a tremendous amount of damage, even though, he does have all defense down, which doesn't apply to Knull and Mephisto. His raw damage is really insane. But I gotta tell you guys, old Johnny here, old Johnny can smoke old Gambit. And this little comparison that you're gonna see might shock you too, especially when you look at the way they're built. So if you look at Human Torch, he has 38,728 energy attack. If you look at Gambit, he has 37,600 energy attack. So a little bit more energy attack for Johnny. You look at the details, we have maxed everything except for the crit rate, but Gambit's crit rate is going to be pretty much maxed out from his fist skills. Ignore defense, a little low, but it's pretty close to max, good enough. And then as far as Johnny here, his stats are a little bit different. His critical damage is only 163, whereas the rest of his stats are maxed out pretty much for the most part. His crit rate is close enough, right? He's got a lot of low critical damage versus Gambit. And when you look at the Urus, on my Johnny, I have 5-star energy attack Urus, and then I got some crit rate Urus. And on Gambit, I actually just have 5-star energy attack Urus. So they have the exact same Urus. I just got some crit rate on Johnny. And as far as the skills, Gambit, he does have all defense down, which again doesn't apply against Knull and Mephisto, but he does have the increased damage by 35%, increased all attack by 25%, and then the same old typical buffs. And the nice, beautiful thing about Gambit is he does have the same all defense downs on both skills, right? He's got 60% here, he's got 60% here, and with an all debuff leadership, it's around 84%, which is pretty massive for this character. And then he's got this nice 30% increase of all attack on his third skill, which is nice. Still a super strong character, and he also has paralysis on his fifth skill. And that's another thing about these characters. They actually have a lot in common. If you take a look at Human Torch, he also has paralysis on his fourth skill. Now it's 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds, but both of these characters' paralysis actually comes on the damage dealing skill, which is awesome. And Human Torch, though, on his third skill, he has 100% increase of energy attack versus Gambit having that extra 30% increase of all attack. So a pretty big difference there. And then the fifth skill here actually has 30% all defense down, whereas Human Torch's Awaken skill has 60% all defense down. So you want to make sure that you do the Awaken skill before you do the fifth skill, because the fifth skill's all defense down will apply first, and you're only going to get that up to 30% all defense down. So if you're running with a debuff leadership, you really want to make sure you start with the Awaken skill, so that way you get the 84% all defense down from the debuff. But the thing that's really different, really is the difference maker for both these characters, is that Johnny has damage accumulation, Gambit doesn't, and damage accumulation is good for all game modes. And of course, and he's still got the increased attack by 25%, but he doesn't have the damage proc like Gambit does on his Awakened skill. And they both have a Stage 6 Power of Angry Hawk set, as you can see. And here's where it gets really wacky, and you guys can be like, man, this isn't fair. This isn't fair at all. Well, after you see what happens in these runs, you might think to yourself, oh my god, this is insane. My Gambit has a Reforged CTP, and he's got a Reforged CTP with the Beatdown proc. And what that means is he's going to get an extra increased pierce damage by 6%. I currently have 6% pierce on my card, so he's going to have a total of 12% pierce every time I use the CTP of energy, getting that chain hit damage that synergizes with his own chain hit damage, and getting 12% pierce every time I use this. And look at this. Human Torch, he just has a CTP of Judgment, and it isn't reforged. And this is where it gets really wacky as far as their differences in damage. Seriously, this is nuts. But this CTP doesn't have the best rolls. We got 15% chain hit damage, 23% all attack, and that's really why his energy attack is higher than Gambit's. It's because we're getting that extra all attack from the CTP of Judgment. And then we got the max proc, the 200% damage to increase to element fighters. And then the uniform is at Mythic. And if you want to look at the uniform options, I'll show those to you right now. You got Luna, Rocket Raccoon, you got Namor, which I actually need to change that. You got Captain America, and then you got some critical damage from Red Hulk's uniform. And Gambit also has a Mythic uniform. And you can look at his uniform options right here. And both of them have very similar builds, and they have a lot of things in common with each other. They're both energy attack. They both have paralysis on their damage dealing skill. And they're both awakened characters. So we're going to go against Cull first. And we're just going to do stage 99. And we're just going to do a little damage comparison. I'm using Dr. Voodoo for the increase all debuff effect by 40% leadership, which is going to put both of their all defense down to 84%. That's something else they have in common. They have the same amount of all defense down. Now, the thing about Cull is he is resistant to elements, right? He's resistant to fire and cold. He has a high resistance to them. So those kinds of characters don't generally do more damage than just regular energy-based characters. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to build up that beatdown proc first. There we go. Beautiful. That's exactly what we want. And the thing about the whole beatdown proc and the reforce CTP procs is you got to wait 10 seconds before you actually get the beatdown again. So you're actually running around and killing a lot of time. But having that extra pierce really is massive. You see we're still trying to build up that proc. There we go. The moment you hit the skill, the proc triggers. Run around, run around, run around. I'm trying to get the awaken skill ready. There we go. And, you know, it's really funny, the similarities between Gambit and Human Torch. Back away. Try to build up that proc. And we're just going to stop at 1 minute here. So you can see that we got down just a little bit below the 11th bar, right? Now let's see what Human Torch does. We'll do the same team because Human Torch does have the 60% all defense down on his awakened skill. A little bit below the 11th bar. Now, what you're expecting to see here is that Gambit's going to do more damage. He isn't a elemental damaging dealing character. He doesn't deal a certain type of element, just energy. Okay, so we're going to do 3, awaken skill, 4. Now look at that damage, guys. That's pretty nuts, right? And 3, 4. And remember, Cull he has fire resistance, right? And actually having that extra second of paralysis is actually quite nice. Okay, so all right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. And 3, 4. A nice thing about that 5th skill also is it is an iframe. Okay, so obviously Gambit does better, and that was something to be expected, right? I mean, Gambit's got a reforce CTP. Gambit doesn't deal fire damage. So that was pretty much expected. Now, let's go against Ebony, and let's see what happens against Ebony. Now, we do know that Ebony is weak to fire elements, and we're just going to go ahead and put Dr. Voodoo in there. See if I can find him real quick. Wherever he's at. There he is. Right? And I could have done this test a couple ways. I could have just put Nick Fury in there and just used Nick Fury instead. But then we wouldn't have the buff to our all defense down. But either way, really the outcome ends up being the same. So we'll switch to Johnny here. And actually with Nick Fury's leadership, they actually do more damage, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so we got down to the next phase in just 19 seconds. 19 seconds, okay? Now let's try it with Gambit and see what happens. Switch him out, put Gambit in there. And remember, I got to build up that proc, right? I got to build up that beat down proc. All right. And that's kind of a pain sometimes, in all honesty. There we go. And you can obviously see a pretty big difference, which is crazy, right? It's crazy that I have a beatdown proc on Gambit, but Torch is smoking him, like totally destroying him right here. But it gets better, my friends. It gets better. The other thing, of course, is that Gambit's much harder to play against Ebony. I'm just trying to build up that awakened skill. There we go. I mean, you can see the difference, guys. It's pretty massive. Human Torch is just absolutely demolishing Gambit against Ebony. But where it really matters is how well do they compare against each other against Knull. So here we have stage 9. And I'm just going to run with this team right here. We're just going to have Cyclops for the extra 30% increase of energy attack. We're just going to use Cable for the leadership, right? So they're both going to have, you know, the 50% ignore dodge here. And then I'm just going to have a couple ignore dodge strikers here. We'll go ahead and take the fire damage out here. And just we'll put a damage to supervillain in there just to make it a little bit more fair for both of these characters. And we'll just go ahead and start with Human Torch. And we'll run this down to the end of the first phase so you guys can see just how much damage we actually do. Now here, since all defense sound doesn't matter, we can actually start with the fifth skill, which is actually what I prefer to do. And I mean, yeah. Boom, shaka laka, my friends. Run out, run around, run around. Okay, so I got caught. Another thing about Human Torch is his heal is better than Gambit, actually. Run over here, run over here, run over here. Woo. And, I mean, it's just nuts, right? And by the way, the CTB of Judgment is pretty insane on this character. I tried getting away, but I couldn't. Okay, so we got caught twice. And boom, shakalaka. Another thing is not nice here is that we're always in that iframe, which is pretty cool, and really Gambit has that same kind of thing going on. Okay, so we did that in 1 minute and 14 seconds. Actually, it says 3:45. We actually did it at 3:46, but about 1 minute and 14 seconds, right? Now let me show you what Gambit does. This is crazy. So we're going to build up that beatdown proc again. I mean, this is a totally unfair comparison, right? Gambit's got a lot more pierce. Okay, we're going to run around, we're going to run around. Here, there we go. Around. Okay, there we go. We didn't get caught. Cool. All right, over here. Build up that beat down. Ooh, run, 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 run. Okay, I'm gonna try not to get caught. Try not to get caught. I got caught. Okay, but at least we're not in the poison, so that's good. Gambit can take a lot of damage. Alright, 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 alright. Build up that proc again. Sometimes I actually hate the fact that you got to run around and keep trying to build up the beatdown proc. It can be kind of annoying actually sometimes. Ooh, okay. Build up the beatdown proc. Here we go. I mean, look at this, guys. Look at this. I even skipped the phase of getting caught by the symbiote invasion, right? And that took about 1:30, right? Human Torch did this faster by what? By about 16 seconds, right? By about 16, 17 seconds. And he's using a regular CTP of Judgment. He is not using a reforged CTP like Gambit here, with virtually the same build. That is crazy, my friends. That shows you just how strong Human Torch is. And this is the game mode that really matters. I mean, Mephisto and Knull drop the best rewards. And because Human Torch has damage accumulation and Gambit doesn't. I mean, Gambit, yeah, he has a lot of raw damage, but he does rely on small defense down, right, in the regular world bosses, and that's why he actually did better against Cull. But because he doesn't deal any kind of elemental damage like Human Torch actually slaughtered him against Ebony. Gambit is still a terrific character, guys. I'm not trying to knock on him. I'm just trying to let you know that this free-to-play character is stronger than Gambit, which is crazy. That's absolutely insane that he is stronger than Gambit. So I just wanted to show this comparison to all of you, and if you'd like to see another comparison, let me know in the comments. And I do stream on Twitch from Sunday through Thursday at Reset. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.